What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Tonight, we are talking The Last of Us, Episode 1 and Episode 2. So if you watched them, we'd like to hear your opinions. If not, listen to what we have to say about it, then decide if you're going to watch it. But before we get into all that, Dave, Doug, how's it going, gentlemen?
Well, to be honest, it had been a bad weekend, but we got the news today, and each one of us can smile. We hit our 1,000 sub mark at YouTube. Thank you so very much, everybody. If there was a way to find out who that 1,000th one was, we would, but I don't think there is. We got much more than that today, so we really appreciate it. Thank you. And let's keep it going. If you know anybody who like our content, have them like and subscribe, and please comment down below. So that brought my day up a lot. So I would say, yes, I am grand. Doug, how are you?
Well, Dave, let me tell you. Now that we have finally reached our peak, gonna have to tell you, gentlemen, I quit. Goodbye, I'm leaving. This is about as good. Oh, wait, I don't have any other place to go, I guess. Okay, never mind, I'm staying here. We're doing it live!
We don't have to buy him out.
No, but you know what? I am outstanding. And because of the same thing that you just said, Dave, we finally, oh my gosh, we've been at this for over 5 years now, and we finally surpassed 1,000 subscribers. This is all thanks to all of you. And, I am so glad to be a part of this with you two gentlemen. And so with that, I want to, let's do a cheers. Cheers to that. Cheers.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And with that, Mr. Keith, before we get into tons of spoilers, sir, how are you doing?
I am tremendous. Like you two, I was quite shocked when Dave slacked us both this afternoon and said, we're past 1,000. And I was like, are you joking? And we are, and then some. And it's a good feeling because, like Doug said, we have been working at this for a long time. And it's outside of our 9-to-5 jobs. This is our side hustle. And some of us have kids. And it's a lot of time spent, a lot of sleepless nights getting stuff ready from all of us. So it feels great. Now we just need to keep pushing and, build that empire and soon take over the world. Because that's all of our goals, right?
That is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It is. Absolutely. Dave, where's that song from Rick and Morty where they had the suits on and they're doing the purge, going feels good. We need to have that plan.
Tone.
Right.
Find that, Keith. Put it on there right now. It feels good.
Let's see. Tundra Walker. Greetings, fellow HBO watchers. Yes, Tundra Walker. You already told us week before last that you were going to be taken off to watch. You called it a vampire show.
Well, just so you know, he just said if zombies are all connected by a conscious network, they are basically vampires.
Oh, come on.
He's sticking to it.
You're still pushing that narrative.
It's a fungus, and there was a fungus among us.
Ah.
Okay, good night, everybody.
He didn't hear our proclamation. Or was he here? You should tell him.
I don't know. Tundra Walker, did you hear that we surpassed 1,000 subscribers on YouTube?
And we have applied to the YouTube Partner Program.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which I believe just means we can start printing money in our basement.
It does. It really does.
Good.
I was telling Keith earlier, I set up a printer. It's about 20 years old, but that's okay. I think I can still get ink for it. It's going to be great. What that does mean is those of you who watch us regularly on YouTube, you may notice a few ads popping up here and there. And that's good. That's actually a good thing. That means that we've reached a point where YouTube decides that we are worth investing in. Get a little bit of marketing and advertising and whatnot going on, and we reap some of the benefits. Hence the partnership in the YouTube partnership program.
And Tundra Walker said, I actually took a botany course from one of the people responsible for discovering the humongous fungus in the UP, Wisconsin.
Really? Wow.
Interesting. Did he help write The Last of Us, the video game and or the TV show? Was he a consultant? Was he the Indian lady from the opening of episode 2?
Man, that was scary. That Indian lady. Oh, or Indonesian?
Indonesian.
Yeah. Yep.
That was scary. Because, first of all, I thought they were just going to manhandle her because she's a woman in a third world country, and that's how it's always portrayed, right? So I was relieved that they were, nice to her. But then when she laid down the bomb that they needed to bomb, and she started crying, that hit. In this show, it's like a slow, whoa, big, not just that.
Yeah, hold on.
I love it. It's beautiful.
Show is like a slow burn, but it's a good slow burn. It's not like what was that, Ad Astra? It's not like something like that, which is slow and stupid. This one has a point, and you can feel it. Yeah, you can feel it slowly working towards it. Like, not a lot has happened in these 2 episodes, but it was worth watching.
Mm-hmm. It really was worth watching. I completely agree with that. So I guess we're just gonna dive right on in, right?
It appears that way, yes.
All right. Well, then, once again, this is your final warning. We are entering spoiler territory. And because we told you all about this a while ago, that this follows almost completely the story of the game. There's like a few minor changes here and there. This is spoilers ahead for the series so far, episodes 1 and 2, and the plot of the game. So, if you do not want to be spoiled about what happens in the game, and you don't want to be spoiled about what happens in the series so far, now is your chance to turn back and go check it out on HBO Max. But, yeah, this is one hell of a series, and I was just mentioning this a minute ago. I love the way that the episodes are opening up. This is something that has changed from the game. They don't include this in the game. In fact, you learn about the Cordyceps fungus in the game via, it's like this little slideshow video thing that plays while the
screen's loading?
Not while the screen's loading. It's
You're being attacked by mushroom people?
Credits. During the opening credits of the game. So while it gives you the title of the game, and it says, who made it, who's responsible for it, in the background they're showing, little news clips, like newspaper things, news video and everything, and then it shows the fungus spreading and everything. And that kind of gives you an idea, okay, this is how all of this happened. But what they're doing in the show is they're actually adding a little bit more. They're filling in a lot of the gaps that they didn't really do in the game. And I love the what was that, the 60s or the 70s TV show?
I believe it was the 60s, yeah.
Yeah, I like how everybody's smoking. That was great. But I like how it went from a funny, hey, we're having a good time smoking our cigarettes, talking about, and then he's like, if something like this were to happen and it was, a fungal infection, we wouldn't be able to stop it. And it's like everyone's kind of silent, like, oh, wow, that really brought down the mood.
And I mean, when he was talking about it, just the way he was saying, where he's like, and listen, if the planet warms up and there's any changes like that, they'll just take over. I mean, there's no stopping them, basically. There's no cure. There's no vaccine. If it happens, we're gone. And it was like, way to bring down the room, dude.
Right? Now, I'm glad you mentioned that. The other change that they did make is the time. In the grand scheme of things, I don't think it matters too much. In the game itself, you started off in the beginning in 2013, and then it went 20 years later. So that was 2033 or whatever. And they set everything back to where you start the series in 2003. And apparently they did that on purpose or was it 2003 or 2006?
It was 2003.
2003, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so
but they did that on purpose because apparently that was one of the hottest years on record.
Oh, interesting. I did not know.
And so again, that was to build with that narrative that the warming of the Earth would help this spread so quick.
And I mean,
In a
Go ahead.
casting note. In a casting note, the doctor that was on the right on that talk show, he was on, of course, Smallville. Where's the button? He played Zor-El, and he was also on Peacemaker. He was the sheriff.
Yep.
And I thought he would have a bigger part after seeing him on there, but that was it. He just sat there and he was done. But yeah, how they're leading off the shows with the explanation is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, the first episode was the explanation. Second episode was a little different, but let's talk about the first episode first, and then we can get into that. Because the prologue was devastating. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like watching this, and I'm like, oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. And the way they handled it, and the way pretty much every choice they've made seems to be the way they should, to me. I mean, he lost his daughter. That was heartbreaking. You know, you even see him now, like in episode 2, at one point, he kind of looks at his broken watch when he's walking with the girl, like, okay, this is the reason I have to do it. But, you know, she fixed the watch. She's this great kid. You don't know where her mother is. You don't know what's happened. She goes and helps the neighbor. She does all these things so right. And then, you know, basically, if it wasn't for his brother saving him, Joel would have died too.
Oh, yeah.
And then when they jumped that 20 years, you know, his brother is, I think it's Tommy, is in Wyoming or whatever. Yeah. So they've separated. They've had this thing. They've done a great job of building this universe, but not filling in every piece yet.
Now, Keith, you've played Fallout 4. How did you enjoy returning back to a post-apocalyptic Boston?
You know, it felt good. But of course, you know, it's funny because as I was watching this, you know, whenever I played Fallout, I always had, you know, the radio on, playing those old 50, you know, bangers, and it always kind of brought it up. But this is so different. I love the way they handled it because, you know, in Fallout, it's all mutated, you know, behemoths and everything, and you got all these fancy weapons, and it's all nuts. This seems so much more grounded. You know, so much, there's not all these fancy weapons. You know, these things are just everywhere, and just like, when you see them just like slithering around and stuff, it's just creep factor 1,000. They did way too good a job on showing all these zombies. Yes, not vampires, Tundra Walker, zombies.
Which, by the way, they have to follow the same rules that they did with The Walking Dead. Apparently, they're not allowed to use the word zombie. So they have to find alternative terms, and apparently that's been a game with Pedro Pascal. He's trying to find, every time he does an interview and he talks about it, he'll call them either cannibals, or he'll call them the fungal creepers, or he'll come up with a different name for them each time. And then he'll always be like, does that make them happy? I didn't call them zombies. I thought that was kind of funny.
But, you know, speaking of Fallout 2, when I played the game, you're always, like, looking around for anything, bullets, guns, and everything. And I was laughing because they were out in the public, and I'm like, why aren't they digging through that hotel to find food? Or
scavenging.
I'm like, I guess it can't be a 3-hour show every week going through.
You know, wait, do they have a carry weight limit?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
But, I mean, even, you know, we see it's funny because, you know, Joel, who seemed like this, you know, he was, you know, working doubles to help his daughter. He wanted to do the right thing to make money. He seemed like an up-and-up guy. And now he's, like, smuggling. And he's doing whatever it is to survive. You know, it's almost with what happened in the prologue to his daughter and distancing himself from his brother. You know, he's pretty much, I'll do whatever it takes to survive. You know, he no longer cares. Hey, you're going to take pills? Go ahead, dude. I'll get them for you. You got to give me something. You know, I need this and that. It was so well displayed by Pedro Pascal.
Joel is basically morally bankrupt at this point, you know, after losing his daughter. And the way that, Keith, the way that you felt when that happened in the show, now you have a bit of an understanding of how thousands of gamers felt when they played that again. That was almost shot for shot identical to the way they did it in the game. Same exact thing. You could line up the two scenes, him holding his daughter, cradling her, like, come on, wake up, breathe. And his brother's standing there because his brother was in the military, and he knows that she's not coming back from that. Like, there's no point, the brother, Joel's brother that he sees, and trying to do anything. Like, you see him kind of move forward for a minute, but then he looks and he realizes we can't do anything. But yeah, what that did to him, basically we even see this one scene where he takes the body of a recently executed young girl, tosses it into the fire to, burn along with the other bodies, and doesn't faze him at all. It's just something that he's, like, used to at this point.
Yeah, that completely shocked me when she died. Because I saw her on all the previews, and she's in the artwork for the show.
Yep.
And she lasts one show. Blew my
Not
mind.
even a show, yeah. She didn't even last the prologue. That was rough.
Right.
Oh, and
Well,
Tundra
that's-
Walker wants to let us know that he has 3,000 Infinity Stones right now. So we best be on our
Tundra
best
Walker, that's
behavior. And no, there's no truth to the rumor that Bob and Doug McKenzie are suing over infringement fleshy head mutants. None.
Did you see his other comment that we should start a Smallville jar and I got to donate to it now?
Oh God, we'll be rich.
Dave will be broke.
You guys will take my third of the company.
But what do you guys think about this idea that, again, just like very similar to Fallout, we've got all these factions that have basically sprouted up, and you see this in a lot of other post-apocalyptic movies and TV shows. It's kind of like Mad Max world, right, where you've got your road warriors and your raiders and your different groups that kind of pop up and control small areas and wreak havoc. In this world that they've set up in The Last of Us, we've got basically what remains of the federal government attempting to set up quarantine zones and hold on to power, but then we also have the Fireflies, which they seem to be rebelling against the federal government.
I noticed that one of the things playing the game is, you always got to pick your faction, a lot like Oblivion, all the Fallout games, you got the Brotherhood of Steel, you got all these other things, and I really liked that they kind of built this up, like, hey, just because there's this, pandemic going on with these, fleshy head mutants, we don't like your tyranny, we don't like you bossing who we do, and they just basically gun people down.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like, oh, was he bitten by a mushroom person? Yeah, sure. They're gunning people down for no reason. They could, and they just they were bitten.
His brother's name's Tommy, right?
Yeah.
We just went over that, I know, but for some reason, like when he saved him because they were just going to shoot him because they got word back. He goes, "We're not infected," and they're still going to, and he's still. That's how he took her out, But when Tommy blows him away, Tommy knew.
Yeah, he did.
I like because they would just shoot first, kill first. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, it's again going back to that opening scene of the second episode where, that scientist, that doctor, she realizes there's nothing you can do. It's going to spread out of control. You need your only chance of containment. You need to start bombing cities, and we actually we see that in as they begin wandering outside of the quarantine zone. We see these craters because apparently Indonesia wasn't the only place that decided to adopt this.
Well, her too, man. I was that opening of the second. I loved the first one. I thought the first one was great. The second one was so much better. Like when she was like, "What about the person that bit her?" Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah,
you got the bomb.
Yeah, and you see her start shaking as soon as he said, like, "Oh, we're fucked."
And now, could someone take me home? I'd like to be with my family.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh my god, they keep doing it, man. They just keep portraying this how terrible this thing would be if it happened. I mean, it just goes out of control. I mean, you're almost understand a little bit, the government sort of militarizing all this, and it's like, you're under martial law, but you also understand where, groups like the Fireflies, so I don't know if they're named after the Whedon show from the old Fox thing, Firefly.
that would be funny. That would be a funny coincidence if that were the case.
But it's nice to see these, it would be a very boring show if it was like, yep, the government's right by us and do all this, and there was no, things. And I don't know if they're going to find other groups of people. I assume they are. Once they're out into the, further in the world. Right now they're in Boston. Obviously, his brother's in Wyoming. I assume they're going to travel there at some point. Once again, I haven't played the game, so I don't know. It's just me guessing. But, there's so much they could do and so much they could add depth-wise to the story, and I'm looking forward to it because...
That's really what I'm looking forward to as well, because I have played the game, but again, they're doing more to fill in a lot more of the gaps than they did in the game. In fact, one of the things that I think they're a little heavy-handed with, I guess if you know what to look for, in the game, it's kind of like just a little background detail. They mention in a few newspaper clippings that you can pick up along the way while you're playing. It mentions that the fungus, the reason it was able to spread so quick was it was found in grains and in wheat. Grains and wheat products. That's where the spores were actually hiding. And so that's how it was able to spread so quick, because of how many people were eating these products. And unless you are actively going around the world and playing a game the way that Keith plays, where he's investigating like literally everything, trying to make sure he gets the trophies, you will miss some of this stuff. And I guess it also depends on whether you care. Like, do you care about these little details of the story, or do you want to run around and shoot mushroom people? So yeah, in the game they've got these little newspaper clippings, but in the show so far they've mentioned, in the second episode, they were pretty clear that the doctor mentions that, she says, oh, well, this factory, this wheat factory where the woman was bit, yeah, that's actually a really good place for this to have, to spread. This is a good place for these spores to live. Of course, that makes perfect sense now. And she fully understands. But what the other thing the show is doing is they're showing little things here and there. Like, did you guys catch in the first episode where Joel, he mentions that he doesn't want, any muffins or anything because he's on the Atkins diet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I thought that was funny. I wasn't putting two and two together at first until I watched the beginning of the second episode. And when she had mentioned it, I was like, that's right, I forgot about the whole wheat and grain thing. And it's like, oh, that makes so much more sense now that he mentions that. It's like, again, just establishing why he never happened to get infected.
Now, Tundra Walker wants to know if one of the Boston zombies will say, do you like cauliflower? I bit her ankle. How do you like that cauliflower?
A Good Will Hunting reference.
Yes. I don't have a song queued up for Good Will Hunting, but...
To me, this show kind of reminds me of the beginning of The Walking Dead, like the first season, how things are playing out. It starts off a regular world, but I'm imagining. I don't play a lot of games, but I imagine that's how a lot of games start. It shows you where you were and how you got to this dystopian world you're going to be in, and killing mutants and zombies. So this show, to me, it starts off kind of the same way as The Walking Dead did. And I love The Walking Dead. And so far, I wouldn't say this is one of the best shows I've ever seen, but it's going pretty good.
Even in the first episode, the way that he was reluctant to help, and the only reason he really helped is because he needs that battery in the vehicle to go check on his brother. He didn't want to do it. He could care less. He's not some, goody-goody, yes, I'm doing what's right. And then it's like, oh, well, she's infected, but she's not. Yeah, how many times have we heard this song and dance? I'm keeping my gun trained on her. They did a wonderful job of not just being, yes, let's all go help because it's the right thing to do. Yay, yay, yay.
No, they make that absolutely clear that, look, we've got our own reasons. We're going to do this. In fact, Joel even says, or was it Joel or his partner? They're like, yeah, and if they're not there, we're going to shoot her.
Yeah.
Man,
and even
one thing about that girl was driving me nuts. I know she's a 14-year-old with attitude, but her attitude was driving me nuts.
A 14-year-old with attitude.
Yeah, that's what happens. But you read the situation, man. I know while she was locked up in the room, she was pissed off. Who wouldn't be? But she just continued with her attitude after they said, all right, you're so important and we got to get you here. That was like, yeah, that's what a 14-year-old would do. And I would feel the same way. I'd be like, shut up. Just driving me crazy.
One of my coworkers, I was talking to her about it today. And I originally thought she was kind of annoying. And I'm like, okay, I feel bad for her because she's acting with Pedro Pascal, who is an incredible actor. And, she may be fine, but compared to him, it's not as good. She said, it really seemed to me like, because she's 19 years old in real life, she's a 19-year-old trying to act like a 14-year-old, but she's doing it like a 19-year-old would see a 14-year-old doing it. And I'm like, Lauren, you're absolutely right. That's kind of what it is. And I hope Dave's right, and she learns, hey, this is a pretty serious situation. And I really have to count on Joel, and he's going to have to count on me if we're going to be successful in this adventure.
Yeah, like when she crossed that wood bridge between the hotels, and I thought she was going to try and ditch him at that point because she said, go over there and just wait. And then I thought with all of her attitude that she's been given, she's just going to try and, go on her own, and I'm glad she didn't. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't have any children that I'm aware of anyway. So I'm not entirely sure how a teenager acts. I'm pretty sure when I was a teenager, I was probably a little asshole.
With a 14-year-old living in my house right now, I can say with pretty good authority, there's a lot of attitude coming out of that tiny body most of the time. Complaining about what we make for dinner, complaining about pretty much everything we do. She finds fault.
Right. Now, if she was placed into a situation where somebody tells her, the whole society's falling apart and we need you, you're the one we're going to find the cure with, you think she'd straighten up? I think she would.
Maybe a little bit, but she would probably have that like, yeah, of course they need me. I'm the savior. So I'm the center of attention as soon as someone mentions me.
You two are aware. Again, going to the fact that they're pulling most of these scenes directly from the game, that is exactly how Ellie acts in the game as well. Actually, she's worse in the game, really. And there's a couple of times where Joel is just like, there's a cutscene, he'll just be like, this child, what the... I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna kill her now.
And I think
already wanted to.
Yeah, but I think because he seems to almost want to protect her too a little bit because of what happened to his daughter. Like he still feels guilt over what happened to her, and he almost thinks this can be maybe a way for him to feel better about it or get over it, have closure, which I don't think it will. But I don't think he would have done this at all had we not had what happened in the prologue to his actual daughter. And it just makes it, every interaction with her is that much more devastating, especially the way Pedro Pascal is just like,
so
okay, fine.
What is it with Pedro Pascal playing characters that has to pick up a child to deliver it to someone else and then eventually growing to care for that child and protect it?
That's funny. Grogu.
And just so you know, Tundra Walker, we do not have to note of our prior relationship with Sprite in our communications with YouTube. It is not part of the partner program. We can have sponsors whenever we like.
That's right. We don't have to talk about the delicious, mouth-watering, refreshing taste that is Sprite. Open a Sprite today.
My concern about Joel is what's he going to do now that I forgot her name, the one
Tess.
Tess. Now that she's gone, he was her, conscience. Or she was his conscience, is what I mean.
She was
and now,
kind of doing that.
Now she's gone. So what does he do now? Is he just going to knee-jerk react to everything? Or is he going to run to somebody else? Because there's no way the 14-year-old girl is going to be his conscience now.
No.
I think we'll see him spiral down a little bit, and then we're going to see him hopefully make a comeback. But, I mean, you even saw it when, at the end of that first episode, when his buddy that he was selling pills to earlier in the episode saw them outside the quarantine area. And he's like, "Well, I'm scanning you, green, green." Then he scans, and she stabs him, and he was going to shoot her. That parental instinct took over, and he just, ended up killing the guy without thought or remorse. And I think
now, was that a parental
not even
instinct?
a gun. With his
Was that
fist.
a parental instinct, or was that him realizing that was his payday?
I think it was parental, because he wasn't thinking clearly. That he was thinking, it was all emotion right there. At least what I got out of it from that scene.
That is true. They did show a bit of flashback.
Yeah, and he's not like, you're not listening. We're not infected. You're not listening. I know that the thing came back red, but we explained this to you. She's special, and he was just going to kill her anyway. And he's like, all right, this ain't going to happen. Even though he knew the guy, just beat him to death with his bare hands.
And then got his rifle.
So,
and then he stole $20 out of his pocket.
Yeah, because money means so much at that time.
Right, exactly.
Do you guys accept Boston dollars? No, they're wicked retarded. Get out of here.
The wicked retarded.
Our currency is Dunkin' Donuts coupons.
Yeah.
I was wondering what those were when he was looking at them. They look like newspaper clippings. I don't know what they were.
Yeah, whatever
Really,
they
that's
were.
what they use for currency. Yeah.
Yeah. Here, I got a blue piece of paper. Ooh, you got a blue one. Well,
Which is better than what they use in Fallout, which is Nuka-Cola caps.
Yeah.
Which I
So
love.
imagine lugging around just like a bunch of bottle caps. And
And I love it.
And also the way that prices work in the Fallout games, it's insane. It makes no logical sense.
No.
It's like you have to spend maybe 1,000, and imagine the amount that is 1,000 metal bottle caps. You might have to spend 1,000 bottle caps on a grenade, but you may also have to spend 1,000 bottle caps on a baseball bat.
But I always loved it too. If you drank a Nuka-Cola, you got an extra bottle cap. So if you had 1,000 and you drank a Nuka-Cola, you had 1,001. I thought that was a nice, attention to detail.
You get currency from drinking.
That's right.
But in this world, this is obviously, again, as Keith pointed out, a bit more grounded, a little bit more grounded than Fallout. I guess it kind of makes sense that the people who were in charge before would attempt to keep that control, even if it is, little totalitarian. Am I saying that word right?
Of course. Totalitarian?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, that's going to happen. You're going to need that kind of thing in a show and in a game like that. Mm-hmm. But man, I think our government is doing some weird stuff. But if we got to that point, and they were just like, if you don't do exactly what we say, we'll just kill you. Well, then, if there's more of us than you, then we're going to take you out.
Well, and just think, it would almost be like Star Wars, where they have who's ever the warlord or governor of that city has absolute control. He's not like, okay, time for election, guys. Can I still be your leader? Yeah, he's like, fucking shoot anyone that opposes me. Uh-huh. They were infected.
Like Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. And the people's want for, or the people in power wanting people to vote goes away when they don't have to do that. I can just stay in power and shoot a few people. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Because I would do the right thing. I'm the only person that can run New Boston while this fungal infection is going on everywhere.
New Boston. There's a New Boston, Michigan. We can go there.
Yeah.
Down by Ann Arbor.
Do we really want to go there?
No.
Well, I mean, there's 2 traffic lights and a gas station there. So
I thought we wanted to go to New Baltimore.
That's about the same. There's not much there either. But they do have a nice coastal front on what lake is that?
Michigan?
No, it's over here by the thumb. It's over here.
No.
Superior?
New Baltimore.
No, is that Huron?
Is that Huron? I think it's Huron. That it's between us and Ontario, or Lake Ontario, maybe.
We live in Michigan. We're surrounded by the Great Lakes.
We don't know.
We don't even know where they are. Oh God.
Oh, and Tundra
lose our
Walker wants to
Michigan
know,
card.
will we be on Mondays until the season ends? Probably not. We just couldn't do yesterday.
St. Clair.
Oh, Lake St. Clair, yeah. New Baltimore is on St. Clair.
Ah.
New Boston is near the Detroit River.
Oh,
There
I'm
we go.
sorry. So going back to the show, one thing that I was going to ask you gentlemen, did you guys catch why it is the Fireflies wanted them to transport Ellie?
Yeah, because
Because she's infected and it's not killing her, so she holds the secret to a vaccine.
the key to a cure. Yeah.
Sort of. So yeah, there you go. That's a little bit more
A
accurate.
cure, yeah.
Key to a cure, because this is one thing that the creators of the game admitted later on that they did get wrong. They treated it as if it was like every other illness. They said they called it a virus. It wasn't. It's a fungal infection, and they said we need a vaccine. Again, you can't create a vaccine for a fungal infection. You'd have to create an antifungal. So, I wonder, are they going to continue to stick? Like, are they going to use the same terminology in the show as they're going forward, or are they going to switch it up, and are they going to use this opportunity to kind of correct again what the creators sort of got wrong?
I wonder if they'll have another opening scene explaining that. And explaining
That'd be
what it
nice.
actually has to be and why, maybe why this girl could be the key to said cure.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's another thing this has in common with The Walking Dead. There was a guy, he joined the season 2, I think. Well, he was supposed to have the cure. He's supposed to have the knowledge to find the cure.
Right. That asshole.
Yeah. And, he was terrible. And at some point, I think he got killed, but not before admitting he had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
He was just trying to stay alive.
He only told people that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But after that initial scene in the prologue to the second episode, I really liked how they set up the entire world. It looked like just a mess, and it's like, oh, we need to go through this hotel, and Elle, of course, is wanting to play the piano, and bodies are falling out, and but this is the path we usually take. Oh, but we can't. It's blocked now. Yada yada. We got to find a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And then, especially when they get out into that terrace, and you just see like all the zombies laying on the ground, like,
So creepy.
I was like, oh my god. Then they're like, well, let's go to the museum. And it's like, they set up. I thought they set up really nicely. You can step on something here, and they'll know about it a mile away.
Which, by the way, I want to use this opportunity real quick. Heavy spoilers dropped a video immediately last night as soon as the video ended. And, hey, you know what? Maybe take a little bit more time next time. Do a bit of quality control on your video, buddy. Because we know that he watches our videos, too. He kept referring to the museum as a museum of the Civil War. That is not what it is. Now, I get that you're from England, and you probably don't know the difference. But that was the war where we kicked your ass.
I'm sure Heavy Spoilers is coming over for our July 4th celebration. But even going into that museum, I mean, they're adding, like, these people are so knowledgeable now about fungus. Where he's like, it's dried out. We should be safe, yada, yada. And I even love the fact when those clickers showed up. Like, they're blind. Everything is basically just, noise.
Yeah, because you notice that as the fungal infection grows, it basically splits their head open. They don't have eyes anymore. They become more and more as a mushroom. They showed in the first episode, if you remember, that one guy that was like basically a part of the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That reminded me of World War Z, too. The clicker guy. Because they can't see you, but they can hear you.
Yep.
And that's probably Pedro standing there, with the flashlight right here. And I was thinking, all right, this thing's going to eventually find him. No, it can't see him. It doesn't have eyes.
But that was such
see him right up to him and walked away.
That was such a tense scene because he's like pulling bullets out and he's trying to be super quiet and it's right there. And I'm like, he's going to drop the freaking flashlight or he's going to drop a bullet shell or he's going to drop. I'm like, oh my God. And that was just this whole series does such a great job of every scene is so tense. you're like, oh my God, is something going to jump out here? Is something, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then just, at one point, just like walking across some water, and I'm like, what's going to jump out from? This is like the scene in Star Wars in the garbage disposal area. Something's living down there. And it never was, but it was just, while watching it, it kept me so engaged because I didn't want to miss anything.
For anybody that's played the game and attempted 100% complete it, and that means, get all the trophies and everything, that's one of the main things that you can do in order to, save ammunition, because it's not just lying everywhere. This isn't quite like Fallout where you're finding trunks and chests and suitcases full of ammo and everything. It's very hard to come by. You actually have to buy it from like travelers or try to find it on dead bodies that aren't mushrooms. So your best bet is to try and be as slow and methodical and stealthy as possible through most of these places. And they explain, I think they did it in the show, but they explain in the game anyway, that clicking noise that they make, that's echolocation. So that's what they're doing. They're making that noise in order to try and find people or find things. That's the whole point of them making that noise. And so in the game, you have to move as slowly and as quietly as possible, because little things that they have in the game world, you could step on or bump into and it'll make noise, and they'll immediately just rush you. And then at that point, you got to make the decision, do I use all my ammo trying to take these things out, or, do I try again? Try the level again. And the one area that they hinted at, and I thought for sure that's where they were going to start off in the second episode, that tower that was like leaning, that's actually one of the first places that you have to go to in the game. I sucked. The very first time I played the game, I got stuck there because I didn't know where I was going. And there's this one part where you have to lay down a board and you have to cross from one part of the building to the other, which logically doesn't make it, real physical sense. Like, you wouldn't really be able to do that. You try and lay a board across in real life, it's probably going to start crumbling the building wall and everything. That's probably why they didn't do it. But I kept trying to do it, and I kept waking up a clicker as soon as I got across. And you have to try and protect Ellie while you're trying to fight these things. It's a pain in the ass.
So yes, Tundra Walker, it's like Thief. You probably have to do a lot of sneaking around to not alert these clickers. I've not played it myself. I want to play it now after watching 2 episodes of the show. I was like, oh my God, I want to play this game so bad now. I'd heard of it, and I kind of knew what it was, but I don't have a PlayStation, and it's a PlayStation
It is
exclusive.
coming to Steam March 3rd.
Oh, excellent. Maybe I have to play it on my PC. But, and no, they're not getting orders from the head vampire. These are not vampires. Come on, Tundra Walker.
One of the changes that they made for the enhanced version of the game is there's a little speaker on the PlayStation controller, and prior to them changing up the game, if you wanted to listen to video clips and things that you had found in the world, you would have to go into the menu, play it, and then you had to pause the game while you're listening to it. What they changed in the updated version of the game is now you can play an audio clip and it'll play through the speaker of your controller while you're in the game world.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That is cool.
So I'll have to loan you my PlayStation controller. I don't think the Xbox controller has that, does it?
It does not.
I didn't think so.
Well, we'll get an Xbox and a PlayStation for our new office.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we should.
And a Switch.
If we can find a PS5.
Well, as you know, Endgame was 2025, and Korg was still playing a PS4 because there's still a lot of stock.
Oh, God. That's so depressing.
Well, there was no one to make them after the snap. You know, there's a lot less.
Wow, that's even sadder.
That's a good point. Yeah. But the one thing, it was funny, when David talked about it earlier, when Elle crossed that bridge from the museum to the next building, and he was taping her ankle. As soon as she said, I got it, or whatever, I was like,
yeah,
she's infected.
I knew it. Yep. As soon as
You don't want anybody near her.
I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought they did a good job of when they showed up at I can't remember the name of the place where they were taking her, what it was called. It was like
the state building.
Yeah, the state building. Everyone's dead, and obviously, one got infected, and they all ended up fighting and killing each other. But when she showed, I got bit or whatever, and she showed it there, and then she's like, you got bit too, and let's look at it, like already healing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might help Joel realize, okay, maybe there's something to this girl, because it infected Tess within minutes. Same clicker bit her, and she's already healing. So I think post this episode, we may see that being, okay, maybe this is how I, get over the daughter. This is how I make right for what happened to my girl, is I get her to the proper people who can find a cure for this. And that might be his motivation.
He needs 3 more episodes. 3 more episodes. Maybe she... Nah, I don't know. I'm still pretty skeptical.
She'll get half her arm.
Yeah. Right.
In an Andor way, where everything's got to take 3 episodes to move on.
And then, first off, those poor fireflies. I felt bad for them. And then when, the one starts moving and Joel shoots it, at first I was like, oh, thank God. Then all of a sudden, I'm like...
Yeah, I thought that was pretty gross when the fungus went under that guy's nail. Oh, ugh.
Ooh, yeah.
Ever had something up under your nail? That's no good, man.
That does not feel good, no. But, yeah, the whole, I'm like, oh, dear God. And she's like, you guys go. And she starts dumping the gas and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, good for her. That's the right thing to do. And, of course, I was like, no, we're not leaving her. You're going to kill me. She's the only thing keeping, me alive right now.
Right.
But I just want to say, and it was probably intended, but that kiss between the fungal zombie and her, I was like, please light that lighter, because I want this scene to end right now.
Yeah.
That made me more uncomfortable than probably anything else ever in my life.
Why did she keep her mouth open? Close your mouth. You didn't have to do that.
I don't think she had a choice. She was getting infected, Maybe it was something inside her was calling to whatever was inside him.
That's a good idea. Yeah, maybe it was. But yeah, I was very...
the last bit of control that she had, she just lit the lighter.
Now, that is something else that they changed from the game to the show. It wasn't a horde of the clickers that were coming after them in the game. It was the feds. They had found the guy that Joel had killed, and they were going after them. And so I think they was better in the show. I like the idea that they foreshadowed. They showed us that, it can connect itself to other clickers. They can speak to each other through these, the fungal stems. They can go into the ground, and that's also based off of reality. The way that some of these fungal networks work is that they can, if one of them is in danger, they can signal to another group to start spreading spores. And so I really liked that. I thought that was nice as they pointed that out. I'm glad that they changed it from the QZ zone, quarantine zone feds to clickers, because I think it makes more sense to really show them, to narrate that they're the real threat in all of this, not, these petty factions.
Yeah. And I don't know what happens post. Like, when she blew them up, I was like a feeling of relief. And it almost was the ending of a chapter in a video game, along with the ending of the episode. I like the way they're keeping that video game feel to a lot of what goes on, because, that's what made it famous. So I'm looking forward to next week's. The one thing...
Oh, me too.
Are there different kinds, like we know clickers, are there different kind of fungal zombies out there? Okay. I was like, okay, there's got to be, but...
The longer they've been infected, the more grotesque, they become, and the more the mushroom basically takes them over.
So how many episodes are in this season?
I think 9. If I remember correctly, there's 9.
I'll be interested.
I think you're right.
I always look at that when a new show comes out, because I'm always like... okay, when is this ending? And I like to know how many episodes are left, like, in the season, because I'm weird like that. When I'm like, okay, second to last episode, we might get crazy in this episode.
Yeah, he's correct, 9.
Well, I would say it's probably gonna definitely get a second season.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's already been doing really well rating wise. A lot of people are talking about it. It is doing well. And one of the things that we had brought up when we were doing our, what was it? We were talking about our TV shows, our streaming series that you're going to want to watch. We had mentioned that this would probably be competing with Amazon Prime's Fallout series. I honestly, I thought at the time that they were going to be airing a little bit closer together. That doesn't seem to be the case. We still do not have a release date for the Fallout series. It's hard to say if it's even going to come out this year. If it is, when, we don't know. But I think Amazon Prime, they're going to have to do, their series is going to have to be amazing. It's really going to have to do a lot to try and compete with this like dark take on a post-apocalyptic world where, it's remaining, A, very faithful to the game, and B, it's staying very grounded. And I really like that. I appreciate that.
But I hope Fallout doesn't. I hope Fallout sticks to the way their game is too. I hope people are walking around with Fat Men, which are guns that shoot mini nukes, and I hope it's just over the top, crazy a bit. You get that sort of 50s music
What I mean
vibe.
is, I hope it's good.
Yes, me too. They've The Last of Us has set the bar pretty high, and it was funny because I was reading that when the first episode dropped at 9 p.m. the servers failed because so many people were trying to log into HBO Max to watch it. It kind of crashed and was having, issues with their broadband. So that's good to hear because it's nice when a great show like this, and it has been, I after the first episode, I'm like, okay, this can really go places. And I think the second episode really cemented. I'm like, okay, this is going to be great. And I'm glad a lot of people are watching it because Andor was so freaking amazing, and it was not getting the ratings that a bunch of other Star Wars shows were going when it should have been. So it's good to see this is doing good. Good shows deserve it.
Agreed.
It's too bad Andor's only getting one more season.
Yeah.
Well, we still got the sequel to Andor, Rogue One, and then the sequel to Rogue One, A New Hope. So we still got some content coming. It's going to be good.
Is Gilroy doing both of those too? Oh no, they're already done.
No, this
he
new
wants another Star Wars. What's that?
This new up and coming director named George Lucas, I think his name was. I heard he's got a lot of great ideas. They're not too sure about his writing though.
Yeah,
he can outline the story really well, I hear, but dialogue's not his forte.
That's the rumor anyway. After $4 billion later. But if they have another Star Wars series, I put Gilroy at the top of the list to go ahead and helm that one.
I agree.
But this is the first Last of Us. Going back to Last of Us, the thing we're talking about is this is the first non-MCU, DC, or Star Wars show that's been to me this good in a while.
Yeah. And it's been one of the first of these type of series that we've focused this heavily on. We were kind of vaguely talking about Rings of Power and Flight of the Dragons, whatever that show is called.
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon.
Did you call it Flight of the Conchords?
We're watching. So I got a late start to watching House of the Dragon, and I only watched the first couple of episodes. Rings of Power. I couldn't get into it, and because we weren't heavily focusing on either of those shows as a main thing that we were going to be talking about during our streaming series, it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal. Okay, well, I don't really have to. We've got at least one of us to fill in the blanks. But when we kind of decided that that was going to be the primary topic for tonight, we were going to talk about The Last of Us. This was a show that if we weren't on this channel, I might have considered waiting until a couple of episodes came out to kind of binge them all at once and kind of get a feel for it. I don't know. depending on like what the hype level was and how much people would end up ruining it for me. But yeah, this is one of those where it's really good. I'm glad that we're focusing on it for the channel. I'm glad that we're taking some time to actually talk about it, dig deep into it, kind of dissect it, and talk about some of the differences that between the show and the game. And yeah, I'm almost beginning to wonder, do we for the course of the series, do we want to switch to Mondays or do we want to stick to Sundays? So I'm trying to think, what else do we have? What else is coming out that we'll have to talk about on Sundays?
Nothing for sure. So yeah, maybe we do. Maybe we update our streaming to Mondays and Thursdays. Because we do Thursdays now. We were thinking about doing Wednesdays. I think Monday and Wednesday is too close together.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe have it spread out Monday and Thursday.
It's not a bad idea.
And then add another day if need be.
I usually don't have anything on Mondays. Mondays are usually my one day I don't have anything going on. And that's because of release schedules and such. So yeah, I'm okay with moving to Mondays if we have to.
Yeah, no more Monday Night Football, so we definitely don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Oh darn!
Sports ball.
We didn't open up today's stream. We didn't open up today's stream with you two talking about how your teams were grabbing each other's asses.
No, can't.
No.
They were both out of it.
What a shame. I'm so broken up and sad for the two of you.
But think on the bright side. Think about this too. I mean, we got to move to Mondays because the Super Bowl will be coming up in like 2 weeks. We're probably going to get some amazing trailers. We're supposed to get a trailer for The Flash, maybe another Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer. So yeah, we're definitely going to have to move to Monday because we're probably going to have a lot to talk about post Super Bowl.
That's true.
So we can talk The Last of Us and all the good stuff coming out. It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Look at us putting our heads together, and that's the mind and that's the thought process of a channel with over 1,000 subs. That's what that is.
It is. Look at us discussing all of our business plans on air.
Where else can you get a startup company like Not Your Status Quo plans? You guys should be taking notes and being like, this is how you make it. You do it for 5 years, 3 months or so, and then that's when you start, making the big bucks. Which we're not getting paid a lot of money. They're just give us giant dollar bills.
Right.
Yeah. If anything to us is big bucks. So
they're basically they're the equivalent of the currency in The Last of Us. We are going to have to wait for the apocalypse to happen before we can use any of them. But hey, if we survive.
Once it happens, we're going to be living large.
Yeah.
We'll be
you guys haven't eaten any bread lately, have you?
Wait, we're not supposed to eat bread?
Oh, guys. Oh, no.
Hold on.
No, I don't eat bread.
Hold on a sec.
I actually don't eat bread.
Are hamburger buns made out of bread?
They are.
I'll have to Google that.
I'm not good about food. I still, here's something I probably shouldn't admit this because you guys are probably going to mock me incessantly for years, like Dave's love of Morbius. But, we started getting 2% milk, and I honestly don't know what the other 98% is. I'm afraid to ask.
Bad joke.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
I started getting almond milk, and I gotta wonder, how are they milking those almonds? I got some almonds, and I couldn't find the udders.
I've seen a video how to make almond milk.
It's just almond juice. They just call it milk.
Yeah, they add a little vanilla flavoring to it. But the other day, I bought some evaporated water, but I don't know what to add to it.
Okay, Stephen Wright.
Yes.
Oh, you are on a roll tonight. Wow.
It's that mushroom coffee. I'm remembering all these old jokes coming up.
That's good stuff. I have 4
Joel.
bags of it, Doug. If you want one, I'll bring it to you. Here, read the shirt. Read the shirt.
Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me, Galileo. Beautiful.
There's
you
Galileo.
both know that I'm a huge Queen fan. I love that. That is great.
So if we're sticking with the dad jokes, I will.
Oh yeah.
show my
Honestly,
shirt.
I think that's what The Last of Us needs. They need Joel to start telling dad jokes,
That would be awesome.
Was he
especially.
a dad long enough?
He should do it while they're like in the middle of a tense situation, and then just have Ellie look at him like, really, right now?
By the way, Tundra Walker just said, "You guys know it's almost time to renew my sub, and it's not looking good for you with these jokes."
Are you Tundra Walker? That's what you pay for, dude. That's what your subscription gets you. It gets you primo dad jokes, man. Like
It's
Remember-
like you don't know Keith.
Yeah, no. Who is this person?
Yeah. If you've known Keith your whole life, you know these jokes are here.
Well,
And
he
they're
hasn't
never
known.
ending.
He has not known me his whole life, because he was born about 8 months before me. So there's like 8 months
Oh.
that he didn't know me, and then the next 52 and a half or whatever he's
So he's known you your whole life, at least.
correct. Yes.
What are we going to do for the next 55 minutes, guys?
Well, there are two more things that I did want to mention.
Okay.
Going back to The Last of Us. So at the one point, and I'm so glad they touched on this because I chuckled. It was funny to me. At the point where they're in the hotel, and they see that it's pooled with water. First off, my instinct was, that's disgusting. Like I would not make it. I would not survive in a post-apocalyptic world. I would look at the water and be like, nah, mushroom people take me. I'm done. But she looks at the water and she looks at, them, the two of them, and she goes, well, I can't swim. And it's still like, are you serious? And he jumps and she's like, well, how would I know that? But what that was a nod to, you know how well, I guess Keith would know this. I don't know that Dave would, but in a lot of video games, they fill it up with a bunch of like little puzzles to pad the game a little bit, make it last a little bit longer. They add kind of some unnecessary things, and what they do is they use as an excuse in the game that one of Ellie's character traits is she can't swim, and she does explain, just like she does in the show, well, when was I going to learn how to swim? I've lived all my life in the quarantine zone. It's not like they have pools. And yeah, that's absolutely true. And so she says that in the game, she also says that in the show. But what that's a nod to is multiple parts in each chapter of, the first game. One of the things that you have to do, because again, this entire time, you're not just playing as Joel on your own, making your way through the apocalypse. You're escorting Ellie this entire time. And so anytime that you have to cross a body of water, you have to find something for her to ride on, and you have to push her along while also trying to fight off mushroom zombies.
I would hate that part.
You have to do it multiple times.
Oh my god. That is one thing. Sometimes in video games when I have to defend somebody else, I'm horrible at it. Because I'm just trying to take everybody out and I'm like, oh, I forgot I was supposed to protect that dude. And he's like being mangled in a corner. I'm
I
like,
hate escort missions in games. I used to play them. They used to come up pretty frequently in. Oh my god! I need some of that mushroom coffee. I'm telling you, my brain is mush.
I'll tell you.
Mushroom
I got
mush.
4 bags. I'll bring you some.
Grand Theft Auto. There's a bunch of these escort missions, and you have to keep the person alive while fighting off all of these other gangs or whatever. And it's one of the longest, worst parts of the games because they'll sometimes go off and do their own thing. They'll try and fight on their own, and they'll rush ahead of you, or they'll get, left behind, and you've got to constantly keep on them and also watch everywhere around you. And that's kind of how it is again in The Last of Us. You've got to constantly keep an eye on Ellie because in the game, the only weapon that she has most of the time is her knife. And she'll try to, if you're on ground, she'll try to run off and go after things. You're like, no, stop it. Or if you're trying to push her on, one of these like crates or whatever across a body of water, she's useless. So you've got to keep your hand on that and push her along while defending both of you.
And swimming.
And swimming.
Yeah.
that
And
would
then
not be fun.
the other part that they nodded at, when he put that plank across so that way they could cross from one building to the other, that is another game mechanic that they do. that you constantly have to do. Whenever you're trying to cross large buildings or large gaps, you have to stop playing the game, look around for something somewhere in the game world, like a plank or a board or something, and you have to hope that what you're grabbing is sturdy enough, and eventually probably fall, so I can't wait for Keith to play this. Have a bunch of clip falls before figuring out which one of the boards that you're allowed to grab is the right board.
Yeah, and Tundra Walker hates escort missions too. Who likes escort missions? If there was
No
somebody
one,
out
but
there who
that's
likes
the
them,
entirety of The Last of Us. That's that whole game. The entire game is an escort mission.
They have an escort in Grand Theft Auto, like a Ford Escort.
Oh.
No.
I really thought you were going to go with the fact that you can purchase an escort.
Oh no, and then kill them. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do the escort mission.
All right.
Oh man,
Get out of my car.
I've got to protect Craig.
wait, isn't it get out of my dreams, get into my car? I just
Yeah,
made
Billy
a Billy Ocean reference. Thank you. We have reached the pinnacle, the zenith of this stream. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, this channel
We'll be here
wouldn't
all
be
night.
complete without a Billy Ocean reference. Okay, so just look at it that way.
There was a scene. Did you guys ever watch Mr. Show?
I
saw a
have
couple
not in a long
episodes.
time.
It was sketch comedy with David Cross. and
David
Bob
Cross was
Odenkirk.
on it, right?
Yep. And Bob Odenkirk, Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad. But they had this thing where this guy was protesting by playing Billy Ocean, Caribbean Queen, in the middle of the desert. He called it Ocean in the Desert. It's like, what are you really trying to accomplish? He's like, playing Billy Ocean in the desert. I've always wanted to do that. So we're going to protest tomorrow, boys. We're protesting them not responding to our partner application fast enough. I know they said it could take a month, but we want it now.
Thunderwalker. Hall & Oates and Billy Ocean were all part of orthodontic torture in the 1980s.
You know what's funny is and just tangent time here for a second. Like one of my favorite bands is Dave Matthews because
you have no taste in music.
Stuff that you would.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to let you just shoot past it. Did you say because they're great?
Oh yeah, dude. Their musicianship is incredible. It's off the charts. They're
All right,
amazing.
let's see where this is going.
Well, just that you would hear that in a dentist's office. Some of their music you would hear in a dentist's office. So it's like, why am I, so attracted to dentist office music? But their musicianship is just incredible.
Yes. You just got a Truman Capote.
Alrighty.
Tell us about
was
your
that
love of
for?
Dave Matthews.
Well, you guys are, small-minded if you don't like him. I can write some books on this.
Oh, just so you know, I have a little timer now on our... I don't know if I can display it on screen. I don't think so, but it's counting down.
Give it a try, sir. Otherwise, where am I at?
You'll be
You're
done
at-
at 9:18.
You're at 4 minutes
Yeah,
and
I need to put my
45
glasses
seconds.
back on. I'm gonna go write some world. I'm gonna go write about the wild coyote. That's what I do.
4 minutes and 35 seconds.
Stop it,
You're
sir.
gonna make it so much worse, Keith.
I'm not gonna tell you what's gonna be in the book.
Oh, now I have to buy it? God damn it,
You have to
Truman.
buy the book when I'm done writing it.
Here's a trick. You can actually download it, begin downloading it to your Amazon device, and then you unplug, you disconnect from the internet as it's downloading, so it doesn't count it as a purchase. And then you can undownload it when you're done reading it.
Very clever.
Yeah.
That sounds like you're ripping off that poor Jeff Bezos. How is he going to make a living, Doug, if you're stealing
What?
from him?
Now, I didn't say that I did it. I just read somewhere that you could
Oh.
do it.
Oh, so no experience on the topic, right? Okay.
No, I don't.
Explain the
I
dumping of
read the
sewage in
or
Chicago?
will.
No. There's my explanation.
I think he's talking
Yeah.
about the play of the Bears in Soldier Field.
Is that what he's talking about? He could be right. But,
I think now that we've surpassed 1,000 subs, I think we ought to update the voice offerings.
How so, sir?
I don't know, just come up with something else because that way Dave doesn't get bored doing Truman Capote for like another 5 years. That way you're not always destroying your voice with Gilbert.
I don't do any other.
I'd much rather do Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And also that way I don't have to keep making the pasta maker joke with Bane. It only goes so far.
Did you guys
Dave
see
Matthews Band? Go ahead.
the trailer dropped for the Valentine's Day special of Harley Quinn?
I saw on Twitter that you had said that, but I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Oh, there's a Bane voice.
And Bane is in it. And it was glorious.
Bane is in it. That's wonderful. I didn't get a chance to watch it, so I couldn't tell you what he said. Something about
maybe
a
we
pasta
can bring it up
maker,
right
I
now.
assume. Actually, yeah. Keith, would you be able to cue it up? Do we want to take a look at it tonight?
I would have a very difficult time queuing it up into OBS. It would be ugly.
You know what, Truman? I'm going to blow you up. God damn it, you're pissing me off.
Oh, stop it! Don't hurt me.
I'm going. Truman Capote. Do you know that I was born in the darkness? You merely adopted it.
No, I did not know that, but thank you for letting me know.
You know, I broke Batman's back. I broke the Batman. I can break you too.
You say that so matter-of-factly.
Why would you want to do that to Truman, Bane? I mean, what has he ever done to you? He's been nothing but a friend.
I write books. That's what I do.
Did you miss the part where I'm a villain? I am indeed a bad guy.
Oh.
If you got me a pasta maker, I would use it.
But I would only gift it to you if you were getting married. Are you getting married, Mr.
No.
Capote? I did not think so. You see, that is a conundrum that I'm in. You see, I gifted a pasta maker with the conclusion that a wedding was to take place. And it did not. Would you not return the pasta maker?
It's only couth to do so.
Yes.
My time up, Keith.
You got 23 seconds.
Oh, boy.
I can't remember what sound I played to end it. You guys probably won't hear it, but it'll play over OBS.
That was very good.
Very good, yes. Indeed.
Thunderwalker claims that he saw the trailer and it's hilarious. It's probably because Bane was in it, and that's the only good part. All the rest of it is terrible. Nothing is good.
Okay, Capote is done.
All right.
Still got about 3 minutes on
Dave
Bane.
Matthews Band did dump some sewage out of their bus into the river, and it hit a boat that was going under the bridge, and all the poop landed on the people. This was like 10, 15 years ago. So I think they ended up giving all these people tickets to their show and some stuff like that.
Oh, that's like torturing them twice.
It's not as bad as going to see Pavement or something.
Because Pavement is the greatest band of the 90s. It would be like, they should have given them, we got you Pavement tickets. And they'd be like, oh, thank God, we don't got to listen to you guys anymore. We'll get some
No,
quality.
they'd be going like, great, now we can wipe.
You know, I once had a great plan in Gotham that took place underground. It was a really good plan.
What was it?
I almost would have gotten away with it. I had all the police, every last one of them in Gotham City. It was amazing how they just fell for it. Every one of the police officers. They had none of them above ground. They were all underground.
Are you saying you would have got away with it if it wasn't for us rotten kids?
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Away
say.
with it. It wasn't for that asshole Batman. That's what I'm saying. He broke his back. He wasn't supposed to come back.
Yet he did, because he is the Batman.
And then, he slept with my girlfriend.
What? Why would he do such a thing?
I don't know. She didn't even tell me she was going to do that. pretty messed up.
Usually they don't. Yeah.
I mean, we didn't. I don't believe we discussed an open relationship. I was very confused. She said that it was part of the plan, but I really don't remember that. We didn't discuss it. She just told me to wear the mask, and I was nothing before I put on the mask.
No one cared about you till you put on the mask.
That's true. That's true. No one cared about me before I put on the mask. And all of a sudden, you put on the mask, you crash a few planes, and now all of a sudden, they care about you.
He has 47 seconds. And yes, you will have some new jokes come February 9th.
It's wonderful to hear that I'll have brand new jokes. Can't wait. It's going to be great.
Especially when it's only 50 Infinity Stones to make you Bane. I have the power. It's 10,000 for Gilbert. It's 50 for Bane, and it's 45 for Arnold. Every time
I'll
you
just be quoting Batman quotes for Arnold.
That is perfect. And you have to say, "Welcome to the party, Richter."
Welcome to the party, Richter. That's your ringtone on my phone,
I do know. I remember. Oh yes, I remember it
What?
well.
What is my ringtone?
Bane, you're done.
Well, you never call me, so.
Oh, good. I'm done. Sweet. Well, I'm going to have to start doing that. Are you available at 3 in the morning? That's when I have my night terrors.
No.
No.
2:30.
That's when you don't go to the dentist.
That's PM.
So, tell us a little bit about this trailer, Keith.
I don't remember much of it, to be honest.
You don't even remember much. All right.
Oh, it's a great trailer. Great. Oh, I don't remember.
No, there was a lot of. I only watched it once, and I was trying to work. I mean, I was not working when I was watching the trailer.
You were off the clock.
Yes, I
As you
was
should be.
punched out of the clock, and I
Yeah.
was doing other things. All I remember, because there was a lot
What's
going
the
on.
hoo-ha
But-
all about?
Basically, Harley and Poison Ivy are getting busy with each other, and Harley makes her climax so well that all these spores kind of go over the city and start taking control of the people.
Oh, it's The Last of Us.
Yep.
It is.
Uh-huh.
I know that
Really
Pedro
Harley.
Pascal is already suing them because of all the ivy zombies in this episode.
I will legitimately laugh if it turns out that's like the main plot, is that they've got to fight all these Ivy zombies.
But you do see, you see Bane in it. You see other people in it. Oh, you see Kite
call
Man
him
and his
Bane.
new girlfriend in it. But it looks pretty
Oh,
fun.
the Golden Glider?
Yes, the Golden Glider.
Nice.
They actually are flying together and make a little heart in the sky.
Aww.
It's very cute. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, I hope his own.
Oh no,
solo
here he
show.
goes again. They all answer to Ivy, so they can't be zombies. There we go, playing vampires. I saw that coming a mile away.
Vampires. well, really, Tundra Walker, if they're plant vampires, quote unquote, then I think that just makes them Venus flytraps.
Now,
But
wouldn't
Venus
she
fly-
be, if that was the case, wouldn't she be the mothership like in ID4, Independence Day? When the mothership gets killed.
You take her
The
out,
rest
then all
of
of them. Probably.
So there's
Yeah,
another-
I feel like that would be the case with this cartoon. Unfortunately, it's not as simple as that in The Last of Us. While they can be connected in a network, there isn't a central group of mushrooms that you can take out and that cancels out the rest of the mushrooms. I wish it were that easy, but no, that it doesn't quite work like that in The Last of Us. But yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if that's how it worked in Harley Quinn and Ivy.
So they can't get high on these mushrooms?
You probably could. You'd be
I
pretty
mean,
high when they
the
took
high
you
would
over,
be
and you're
very
like,
short, and then your brain
Right,
would be.
right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was another thing. I liked that chart that they had underground that showed where, like, right around where you got bit in The Last of Us. It would show like how long it would take before it took over. That was a nice little touch. I don't remember that being in the game.
I just hope at some point in this season, and this hasn't been confirmed, but
Mm-hmm.
around the rumor mill, or rumor mill rundown, as we like to call it here, I heard that Vincent D'Onofrio is going to appear. Excuse me. From Yes, Men in Black Part 1. Thank you very much. I'm here all week.
You're welcome.
I need sugar. Sugar in water.
All right.
I may have seen
got
the movie a couple of times.
Wait a minute. Tundra Walker's complaining about your dad jokes, and look at everything he's putting in the chat.
Mm-hmm. The big mushroom, the portabella presidente, the shiitake senate, the moral of the story. Oh, come on. Tundra Walker.
He just wanted to be the one with all the dad jokes. Doesn't want to share the stage. He's got to be the funny one in the chat.
Wow.
Well, right now he's the only one talking to us. So,
Everyone else is
Talking
we
about
should
this.
invite him to the Zoom meeting so he could actually just say it directly to us.
There's a million other people here. You can't see them. Yeah, that's it.
They're just really quiet.
extremely. Oh, he's out of shrooms.
No, Doug. All right, I'm serious about that mushroom coffee. If you want it, I do have 4 bags. They sent me my second month, and there's like I haven't even finished the first bag yet, so I have 3 bags I haven't opened yet. So I'd be more than happy to bring it to you.
I'll think about it.
More than happy? I don't know if I could be more than happy. Can I? I mean,
Yeah, you can. There has to
that
be
seemed
something
like it would
above
be a
happy.
mental condition.
That's okay.
You know, like he was more than happy. You know, that'll be on my tombstone. He died because he was more than happy.
I told you what I want on my tombstone, right?
What?
Pepperoni?
I told you I was sick.
Not like
Should-
John Blake's, right? Here lies John Blake who stepped on the gas instead of the brake.
Dave, do you have any strange rashes?
Those will come, bro.
No, I do have a lot of veins sticking out because I'm so muscular, though.
Oh, were you going to head to the gun show later?
Yeah, no, that's Keith's thing.
Hey, just to get on a serious note, speaking of that, does anyone have the number of a good vet?
No.
Oh, that's too bad. These pythons are sick.
Setting him up, knocking him down.
Boom!
Yeah,
Oh my
we're
God,
not
we-
even talking about our nerd stuff, and we're having a good time. Because we hit 1,000 today, baby.
Unbelievable. That was a wonderful surprise this afternoon.
It's fantastic. It's more than I would have expected. Like, just out of nowhere. I was not expecting this at all. I looked at this, it's going to be just another day. We're going to stream, going to have a good time, talk about the last one. I was not expecting this. Like, Dave announced this, and you were 1,000 before all the dad jokes.
Now we're down to 997.
Dave told us, and I'm like, oh my god, I got to rush and put a graphic together. Oh my god, I didn't even was not expecting this.
I had to check
Yeah.
YouTube Studio to make sure Dave wasn't just joking.
It's crazy because when we hit I think it was when we hit 900, we just kind of stagnated there for a couple of weeks. We got up to like 938 or something. That's the last time I saw it. It was like a couple days ago. And then, I get a text from Charlie from Brainiac Baseball and says, "You guys hit 1,000." I'm like, "No way." And I get there and it's at 1.01. I refresh the screen, 1.02.
And it
I
just kept
refreshed
going.
the screen again, and it went 1.03, and it just kept going.
Dang.
Yeah, now we're at
It's amazing.
1,118 subscribers. So today was a great day.
Now, Keith, what were you saying the other day about, what did you call it? You said that something was a little bit higher than normal on one of our videos?
My cholesterol?
Oh, the impression click-through rate.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's every time you all those when you're on the homepage and you see all those thumbnails, if you click on one, it improves their click rate. All the others go down.
So does that mean that YouTube is finally pushing our videos to the front page?
Sounds like it. Or at least we're coming up in searches when people are searching for stuff.
Nice.
Yeah,
I mean, that's 201 day we had today.
which is our biggest day to date. Because it's funny, it was Dave, I was telling Doug, I think before you jumped on the Zoom for this, when I refreshed it this morning, before I was working, of course, we were at 939. But when I looked at it, I thought it said 999. And I was like, oh my God.
So
I'm like, oh, it's 939. Still good, but... And then when you texted me, I'm like, okay, I'm not being fooled again. How do they know that I was fooled this morning already once?
Right. That's a bunch, man. Yeah, they got to be pushing, and it that's what I thought. Once we hit that, they will start pushing, and it'll like Arnold Schwarzenegger said, the first 1,000 is the hardest. So start with the second 1,000.
But unfortunately, they would not let us start with the second 1,000. We asked them very nicely to, and they were like, I don't think so. We're like, well, that's really rude.
Sorry, fellas, we cannot give you special treatment.
I was offended.
Me too. I was like, I don't even know if I want to be your partner anymore, YouTube.
I don't know if I can trust you now.
We were on a break.
Well, the break's over, baby.
It's time to get down to business. Down to brass tacks.
We're partners again. We're together.
We're affiliates on Twitch, and we're partners on YouTube. We
Friends
are definitely
to the end.
moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe. I better stop singing. We
What's that? We're back down to 900? Oh.
Oh, that's a good question. Do we get to choose whether we allow political ads on our streams?
we do not. We can
Yeah, I don't
choose.
think we actually get to choose those ads to play before and after our videos.
Nope, we do not.
Yeah. If we do a live stream on YouTube, do they let you choose? I wonder.
I don't think so.
I don't think they let you choose which ads are shown.
We don't get to choose the ads to play on our Twitch either.
I think, we can choose when they play, but not what is played. But we got
That
some
is one of
research.
the things that we're able to do, I think, with videos. If we get accepted as partners, I believe we're allowed to actually choose the breaking points in a video of when it'll kind of like go to black, make an ad play, and then come back. So when we do start, when we once it happens and we get accepted into the partner program, we'll have to kind of find good breaking points in the videos, edit in like a little point, that way we aren't just throwing them in and we'll be like midway through a sentence, go to ad, come back, and finish talking.
Yeah.
I'm sure
I'm
everybody
tons of
finds this
walkers.
very enlightening, and they love hearing the ins and outs of streaming online.
Right, exactly. I'm with Tundra Walker though. I hate political ads, and it's right. It's good that the election's
Same.
over, but now they're already gearing up for the next one, which drives me nuts.
It's crazy. It
It's
seems
all
like
it is more.
it seems like there's so many more political ads than there were. Like I hate to be one of those people that talks about the past, like back in my day, but I truly do not remember there being this many political ads this close together. I remember there being like a good space of time before you had to start seeing them.
Yeah, it's annoying, especially since that's all they do. When they get there, they don't do anything. They just all they're about is getting elected, and once they get elected, nothing changes, and they just start running ads again. It drives me
No,
nuts.
a lot changes. They start lining their pockets with money from
Yeah.
lobbyists.
Well, nothing
And
changes
Exactly.
for us.
I only say that because I'm jealous, because I would like my pockets to be lined by lobbyists too.
What's that? You want to pay me to agree with your company? Yeah, I'm on board. Man, smoking rocks.
I wouldn't do that.
Kids should start smoking at 10.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't accept any money. Sorry.
You don't gotta be
Dave?
sorry.
I will offer you $2 billion right now to tell the world that you like heroin.
Well, that'll be true in about 20 years. So,
Well,
I'll
Doug,
take that money.
he doesn't like heroin.
He
He
loves
loves heroin.
I love it. Yeah.
Cha-ching.
there's going to be a point in everyone's life where they should just do it. Because they got nothing left to lose. Just do it.
Yeah, when I'm like 75, I'm definitely starting a trendy heroin habit. I want to know what it's like. What I got to lose?
Because people,
what do you got to lose?
because heroin has to be fun at some point, right? Because the people out there, if you're smoking weed, you still got a house, right? But if you're doing heroin, people say, "Hey, I don't need a house." They like it that much.
Thunder Walker, I'm gonna need a higher Infinity Gems rate.
We'll make that happen, Tundra Walker. And you actually do. When you're subbed, you actually accumulate Infinity Stones faster than the people who are not subscribed to us.
One of the benefits of subscribing on Twitch, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no
How many
ads.
Infinity Stones you guys got?
Oh, I've got 46.3 thousand Infinity Gems.
Wow.
I got 46.9.
How come? I guess I've spent more of mine on making you guys talk.
Well. Sounds like we got about 49 times we're going to hear Truman or Arnold.
Yeah.
The only time that I really ever spend mine is when I notice Keith's voice getting a little crackly, and then I'm like, yeah, it's about time for an absolutely.
Oh, time for a what? This is my third Mountain Dew since we started.
Oh, wow.
Holy moly. Speaking of Mountain Dew,
you don't
since we're on
sleep tonight,
tangent
huh?
time,
I guess not.
I love all of these zero sugar weird flavors of Mountain Dew, like the Major Melon. Love it. Code Red, even though I can't find the zero sugar Code Reds anymore. Delicious.
I love Code Red.
My wife found a pitch black zero sugar, which is
Really?
like a grape flavored Mountain Dew. Not know about you, but I love grape flavored things. And I was so happy. She found a 20-ounce bottle at a gas station by us that always has the Baja Blast zero sugar when we're in, and the Major Melon zero sugar. She found it and I drank it. And then she found 12 packs of the pitch black zero sugar Mountain Dew. Now, unfortunately, I can't drink Mountain Dew this late or I would be up all night. But I'm looking forward to downing about 2 or 3 of them tomorrow during my workday as I'm studying intently on time and attendance adjacent things and nothing else. Because I am that guy.
Well, go ahead. For me, drinking Mountain Dew is it's crazy because you guys know that I avoid sugar as much as I can. So this is like a little treat for me. And yeah, I'm probably bouncing off the walls in a short time here.
My favorite has always been the Baja Blast Mountain Dew. When they introduced it to bottles, and it was supposed to just be for a short time, and then all of a sudden, all these people are like, "Hey, no, this needs to be more of a continuous thing." Right around when they were finally releasing it again, I was also trying to cut back on a lot of the sugar. I'm like, I wish I could, but I told myself I can't. The only type of soda that I can drink is zero sugar soda. And then all of a sudden, lo and behold, right before the pandemic, they introduced zero sugar Baja Blast, and it was beautiful. But then all of a sudden the pandemic hit, and it was hard to find zero sugar anything. I don't know what was going on, but the coffee cream that I use is also zero sugar. Couldn't find it anywhere. Couldn't find Coke Zero anywhere. It's nuts.
Well, some of it, as soon as Baja Blast comes out, I usually go up and buy 8 or 9 12 packs of it. If I can find cases of the zero sugar, I buy it. Because, and now Tundra Walker asked, did you guys see the Baja Blast hot sauce is coming out?
I saw that. It looks disgusting.
I want to try it. Because it's probably not going to taste like Mountain Dew. It's probably going to have a little of that Baja flavor, which, if it's infused correctly with the hot sauce, could be pretty good. I just don't know where you get it.
Who gave you that tangy zip that you were looking for?
Yeah, that tang zip.
Well, I'm still waiting for... Mountain Dew introduced a hard seltzer version of their Mountain Dew, and they did have a Baja Blast hard seltzer Mountain Dew, but it was in certain states. They're doing it in test markets. And so I don't know if or when it's going to find its way to Michigan. I guess it depends on how well it sells.
Well, hopefully it sold well, because that sounds delicious.
Yeah. I would love to get my hands on that.
When we get our office, it'll be stocked with Baja Blast Zero Sugar, Pitch Black Zero Sugar, Dave's regular Mountain Dew, and Code Reds. We're going to really be bouncing off the walls.
And whatever other thing that we're sponsored with that particular week.
And I told you, the day we move into the office, I'm blasting Der Kommissar all day long.
So I'll be there on the second day. Don't turn around. My stance on sugar, not surprisingly, is diametrically opposed to you guys.
Oh, he just loves sugar, does he? Well,
you agreed with Doug on Battlestar Galactica, though. Don't forget. Your guys' horribly wrong opinion on a tremendous sci-fi show from...
I'm sorry. I'm really struggling with that show. It is...
It's not for everybody.
I'm sure I would have liked it. I definitely would have been into it in 2003.
Oh, when the spores came?
If you had been our age and seen the show and gotten hooked on it at a younger age, it would have been better for you.
See, but Tundra Walker is our age, well, a little 8 months older than me. He enjoyed the 80s show, and he doesn't like it, but he doesn't like slower paced stuff. And this can
That's not my issue with it. The slower pace, I'm not bothered by that. It's just it's very reminiscent of the type of TV show storytelling of its era. It's just like how a lot of the CW shows are pretty much the same, and it's like once they get into that formula, yeah. So there's a certain formula that was in the early 2000s type shows. You see that with Heroes, with Lost, with Battlestar Galactica, with a lot of these shows that were released around that time. And they all have a very similar formula. And that's what I'm saying. I would have been really into it probably when it originally aired. It would have been one of those things where it's like, look, I got to get home. It's getting ready to get on TV. I didn't put a videotape in the VCR, so I'm not recording it.
I wish that we had like DVRs and stuff back in the day. Because, man, what we had to do to record shows and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
This was pre-TiVo even. Like, when I was a kid, if you wanted to watch, Battlestar Galactica, you had to be in front of the TV when it came on. Then when you had VCRs, I have to set up the time, and it would unplug, and the time would be reset. It was a terrible, terrible mess. But Tundra Walker says, yeah, you have to imagine seeing Star Wars 1 in 1977 and then having nothing else to sate your thirst for years. It's true.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Who had the holiday special?
Empire didn't come out until 1980. That's the same year that Indiana Jones came out, 1980.
Really? I didn't realize there was that length of time in between.
Oh, yeah. They were...
3 years apart.
Time to the effects back then. The Return of the Jedi didn't come out to 83 after that.
Correct.
Wow.
And then it took all the way to 1999 for them to get Jar Jar Binks correct for the Phantom Menace.
Woo! Good job. I tried watching the Phantom Menace a couple of weeks ago, and it's still such a rough movie. It really is. It is tough to get through.
Yeah. See, there's a slow-paced movie for you, Keith. That's no good.
What?
The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, that movie's bad.
I forgot how long the pod racing scene was.
I told you the story
like
about when
minutes.
did I tell you guys the story about when I saw Phantom Menace?
You might have. I forget, though.
I was in college, and me and a bunch of buddies were all Star Wars fans, including Tundra Walker's brother. And we had tickets for the midnight showing on Thursday night. I took the next day off. Prior to the movie, we went out and had a couple, drinks. We get into the movie, and Tundra Walker's brother falls asleep, like 2 minutes into the movie. And the credits are playing, and he wakes up, and he goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I can't believe I missed it. I'm like, no, you made the right decision. See, I have to agree with Tundra Walker. I think Attack of the Clones is much harder to watch than The Phantom Menace. I could probably, like, some of the Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Darth Maul, battle at the end is worth watching. There's probably, hearing Liam Neeson talk, I can stand. There's I can't remember, and I haven't watched in a while, outside of Natalie Portman's attire when they're in that battle arena. I don't think there's much more good I can get out of Attack of the Clones. Except maybe Jango Fett and Obi-Wan fighting on.
I think if you take away the romance part of the Attack of the Clones, it's a great movie.
And that may be true. Because the dialogue between Padme and Anakin is wretched.
Oh, yeah. Sand. I hate sand.
If you take that away, and also if you rework most of the dialogue, and I guess if you found a different way to incorporate Jango Fett into the story, or find a different way for Obi-Wan to find his way to Kamino, because logically nothing in that movie makes any sense. If you begin thinking a little too deep about the plot elements of that movie, you begin realizing that either the story is bad or Obi-Wan is an idiot.
Yeah. And we know he isn't.
He sees Jango. Oh, hello there. Oh, it's some nice Mandalorian armor. I used to bang a Mandalorian. Ha ha!
Are you mine?
No?
And
no.
The fact that he then goes to Geonosis.
Thunderwalker wants to know which one of us has a good cloner voice. That would be a worthwhile purchase.
I don't think any of us have a good New Zealand voice, do we?
Hey, mate!
Well, Tamura Morrison's, is he New Zealandish?
Yeah.
What do they call that? If you're from there, you're a Kiwi?
New Zealander, yeah.
It's not Kiwi?
I think that might be slang. Or that might be inappropriate.
I don't think it's an insult.
I don't think it's an insult either.
Is it? It isn't? Okay.
But if there's any New Zealanders out in the chat, please let us know if Kiwi is an insult. We will stop using it.
We've just offended all 300 of our New Zealand fans.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we're not monetized. Screw those guys.
I'm never watching Not Your Status Quo again.
But yeah, I think, if we were to take this back to the editing room, for Attack of the Clones, I would extend to the scene with Dooku,
Especially now that what we know with Dooku, which what we've seen in Tales of the Jedi. It's really...
I love how much depth they added to his character in Visions. I thought it was really, really well done.
Yeah, I thought
You mean Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah.
In Attack of the Clones, they really just glossed over his character. I mean, to him, that's what made his death in... Spoilers! In Revenge of the Sith. In the opening scene.
It's like you don't care because you don't really know him.
Yeah, who gives a crap? I was going to say the S word, but I don't want to be demonetized.
Yeah, I would have introduced this character in Phantom Menace, and then expanded on it a bit in the Attack of the Clones, and then it would have actually meant something when he dies in Revenge of the Sith.
Do you know how lost I was when they kept saying, "Boy, this is really tangent time off of Last of Us," but
we've been at tangent time for the last hour.
When I first saw Attack of the Clones and they were talking about Sifo Dyas, I had no idea who they were talking about for the longest time. It's like, what? Who? What are you talking about? They needed to be more clear on that.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, we have Favreau and Filoni rescuing all of the weirdness from all of the trilogies and making things right. There are people who think Sifo Dyas is going to be the one. Oh, no, not Sifo Dyas. Who's the one, the Jedi? He's kind of a, I don't want to say a wild person, but he's kind of a loner. And in Obi-Wan, we saw his name on the pathway after Order 66. Quinlan Voss. There's a lot of people that think Quinlan Voss is the one who saved Grogu during Order 66. Once again, we all know it's Anakin. I made that prediction. It's all coming true. I saw on our YouTube page that the reason
I'm
our
gonna kill them all, except
subscriber
for this kid.
jump, our subscriber count jumped so high was because of that awesome theory that I had. Everyone was cheering, and basically I saw George Lucas had commented that this kid's a genius. He's broken through my clever subtext and figured out what's going on. So don't worry, you guys don't have to shower me with applause or anything. Just the accolades of Lucas and everyone else has been. Even James Gunn jumped on Twitter to talk about what a great theory it is. So I'm good. Everybody. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you for making our sub count jump by 219 people today.
You're welcome. I'm always happy to help.
Whatever you can do.
That's right. And don't forget to hit us up at Twitter, leave a comment down below, and we will see you next time on Not Your Status Quo.